True.
I
Bueno,
think it's the time, right?
yeah, usually we wait until 10 pass, 10 minutes
Okay.
pass, because
Okay.
people are still joining in. So,
Mhm.
but
Of course.
quiero saludar a Adelina de nuevo. Hola Adelina, hola Irene. Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hola.
¿Estáis? Let's see.
Están tímidas de momento, son tímidas. They don't speak.
Iya, gimana nih? Kok jadi malu-malu? Está bien.
Hola, señor María. Señor María.
Hola.
Me llamo Adelina. Yo usted pregunta, ¿qué usted ya aprendí otra lengua que inglés?
Muy bien, Adelina. Sí, he aprendido otras lenguas, además del inglés. He aprendido francés, italiano, un poco de chino y ahora estoy aprendiendo indonesio, bahasa Indonesia.
Es que en las lenguas que usted aprendió, usted tiene una
certificación, sí. Tengo certificación en chino, tengo el B1 de chino, tengo el B2 de inglés y estoy preparando el C1 de italiano. Sí, tú, Adelina, ¿tú español es tu primera lengua extranjera? ¿Es la primera lengua que aprendes?
No, antes yo aprendo francés, aprendo inglés. Una vez en la escuela secundaria,
sí,
yo aprendí alemán.
Wow. ¿Te
Pero,
gustan? Sí.
Pero solamente 3 años de secundaria.
Ok, pero te gustan mucho las lenguas extranjeras, ¿verdad? ¿Te gusta aprender idiomas?
Sí.
Muy bien.
Pero no hablo fluidamente.
Hablas muy bien. Estoy hablando contigo español y nos entendemos perfectamente. Lo más importante de las lenguas es conseguir la comunicación, es que dos personas se comprendan, se entiendan. Ahora tú y yo estamos hablando y nos entendemos, así que no pasa nada porque no hables tan fluido como te gustaría, ¿vale? Lo importante es la comunicación.
Gracias para consejo de usted.
Muy bien. ¿Te quieres presentar al DELE, Adelina?
No. Yo solamente curioso.
Muy bien.
Sobre la DELE.
Muy bien. ¿Quieres obtener información, verdad? ¿Quieres informarte sobre el DELE? Muy bien. Pues estás en el sitio correcto. Estás en el lugar adecuado.
Gracias, pero según a mí yo no sabía cuál nivel.
Ah, ahora vamos a ver, os voy a dar algunos consejos para saber qué nivel del DELE podéis intentar, a qué nivel de DELE os podéis presentar. ¿De acuerdo?
De acuerdo. Estoy de acuerdo.
Muy bien, Adelina. ¿Cómo
Hola, hola
aprendes
a todos yang
español?
baru join.
Hola. Uy, hay mucha gente ahora. Ay, conozco. Hola a todos.
Hola, hola.
Veo algún alumno mío por ahí. De momento, Ian.
Ah,
Buenas noches. Sí, qué bien.
Hola.
No avisé, pero se han conectado algunos. Qué bien. No sé si alguien quiere hacer alguna pregunta. Si tenéis alguna pregunta. ¿No? Creo
lo siento
primarita.
un poco. Ahí.
Sí, primarita tiene
Mejor
problemas, ¿no? De
desconectar ahora
conexión.
que más tarde. Sí, eso es. Bueno, 3 minutos más.
Vale.
¿Esperamos?
Sí, claro.
Vale. Bueno, podéis hablar entre vosotros.
Claro,
Hola,
pues.
seperti Iren, hola, Kayla, Elsa, de nuevo. Elsa es de Papua, María.
¡Ah! ¡Qué
Bastante
guay!
lejos.
Me encantaría ir a Papúa. Me gustaría
Ah,
mucho ir a Papúa.
gracias.
¿De qué ciudad de Papúa? ¿En qué
Eh,
ciudad vives?
Jayapura,
Ok,
sí.
muy bien. ¿Y qué tiempo hace allí? ¿Cómo es el tiempo?
Es las 9.
Ujú, sí, son las
Sí.
9, son 2 horas más tarde que Yakarta,
Ah,
pero
sí.
que hace buen tiempo, hace calor en
Sí,
Papúa,
muy, sí,
llueve.
muy calor. Aquí
Mm,
es muy calor, pero a veces lluvia,
ujú,
lluvia, sí,
vale, a veces
sí.
llueve.
Pero yo vivo en cold place.
Ah, vives en un
¿Cómo se
lugar
dice? Sí,
frío,
sí,
en
sí,
un lugar frío.
sí, en
Escribir.
lugar frío. Pero en la central ciudad
Ujú,
es muy calor.
hace mucho calor,
Hace
¿vale?
mucho calor.
¿Cuántos grados hay en tu ciudad? ¿Cuántos
Ah,
grados?
33.
¿Y eso es frío? ¿Is that cold? ¿Eso es
Oh,
frío?
en mi lugar,
Sí, en
oh,
tu lugar,
en mi
en
lugar,
donde vives.
eh, 29, 28. Sí.
Wow. Bueno, para mí no es frío, para mí está bien.
Ah, sí.
Muy bien. ¿Dónde más, de qué otros lugares nos escucháis? ¿De dónde venís los demás? ¿Todos de Indonesia? ¿De qué partes de Indonesia? estáis? ¿En qué partes de Indonesia estáis?
De Jakarta.
Muy bien, Yakarta.
De Flores.
Dari mana aja asalnya teman-teman?
¡Oh, de
Flores, Flores.
Flores!
Sí.
¡Qué guay!
Flores.
¿De qué ciudad de Flores?
De Bajawa.
Ajá.
De las Flores. En media parte. In the middle, in the forest.
Ujú, en medio del bosque, en mitad del bosque, ¿no? O sea, no vives en la
Yeah,
costa.
cerca. Yeah, cerca. Yeah. Near to the forest, yeah.
Ok, muy bien, cerca del bosque. Ok.
Cerca del bosque, sí.
Conozco algunas partes de Flores y me parece precioso. Es hasta ahora mi lugar favorito de Indonesia.
Ah, Labuan Bajo, ¿es it Labuan Bajo?
Sí, hice Labuan Bajo, Komodo, pero el mar es precioso. Los colores, las islas, todo, es muy bonito. Bueno, todo Indonesia, ¿eh? Todo Indonesia me encanta. Quiero viajar a
Thank you.
Flores, sí.
Gracias.
Elise dice, él sí quiere viajar a Flores, sí. Todos, yo también quiero volver a Flores.
Vamos, entonces.
Vamos todos a Flores.
Vamos juntos. Vale. It's 8:12. I think we should start. What do you think, María? ¿Qué tal?
Of course.
¿Empezamos?
Sí, claro.
Vale.
Por supuesto.
I hope I won't be having more internet problems and some cat problems because cats are very noisy here if you hear some cats. Bueno, hola hispanistas, bienvenidos. Welcome to the fifth night number 5 of Hispanic Week 2022 by Dime Por Qué. I'm Primarita, as usual, the community manager of Dime Por Qué and your host for tonight. And I'm here with my friends from the community, Dewi, Henry, and also Yoshi. I just want to say, I think time really flies when you're having fun, and I can't believe we're almost at the end of the week. So, I just would like to give a special thank you for those of you who have been joining us since the first day this week. You guys are awesome. And the first edition of Hispanic Week, of course, was held last year in April and was attended by more than 600 people from, from Indonesia, from Singapore, Malaysia, Spain, and even Colombia. So we are very, very happy to come back this year. For those of you watching us on YouTube, we invite you to join us on Zoom, where you can be closer to us and have a more interactive session with our speakers. You can save this meeting ID and passcode to watch the session every day. And, the last one is tomorrow, actually. Or watch the recordings at a later time on YouTube using the same link address, which is bit.do/HW capital 22 live, also L capital. But we really encourage you to watch the sessions live following the schedule so you can participate in the games and, win prizes and all that. You can set a reminder on your YouTube app so you don't miss out on anything. If you haven't followed us on Instagram at dime.por.k, you can scan this pretty QR code here on the left, and we are now also on Telegram. So after 4 years being online open chat, our community has now moved to Telegram, and where we have a chat room to share everything related to Spanish language and Hispanic cultures. So if you want to ask, music or film recommendations, or even if you want to ask grammar, or just, sharing some Spanish memes, I think this is the place for you. All right, so this is another reminder. The Hispanic Week 2022 Insta Story competition is, of course, still going on. We have seen your posts so far, and they're really awesome, so keep them coming. And we will announce the winners at the end of the week. And if you haven't participated, all you have to do is capture your favorite moments from all or one of the events and post on your Insta story using hashtag Hispanic Week 2022. And don't forget to mention us at dime.por.k and the speaker of the day, which tonight is at Aula Cervantes, Jakarta. And on that note, I would like to invite our speaker from Aula Cervantes, Jakarta for the 5th session of Hispanic Week 2022 Q&A with DELE Certified Examiner María Sans Cardiel. from Aula Cervantes, Jakarta. Hola, María, ¿qué tal?
Hola, Primarita, hola a todos. Muy bien,
Hola, hola.
muchas gracias. Thank you so much for inviting me to this amazing Hispanic week. I'm so happy to be part of this this for the first time. So yeah, I hope that you will enjoy this this meeting and you will get the information you are looking for about the DELE.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. This is the first time we get to talk to, you know, a DELE certified examiner, because they're so rare. They're very they're not so many. There's not so many of them in Indonesia, right?
Yeah, that's it. Actually, we had for me was the first time as a DELE examiner last May, the month of May. It lasts for 2 days, the examination. For the different levels, and it was around, I think, 30 something, 40 students. So compared to the quantity of inhabitants that Indonesia has, is the 4th country in the world, I think. Small. So let's say that it's not so popular among Indonesian people, but well, I think not okay, maybe not in the DELE, but I see more and more interest in learning Spanish. I have met so many people who want to learn Spanish, so hopefully people who are studying Spanish will get interest in also having a certification as DELE. Let's see.
True. Actually, this is our 4th year, 4 or 5. 4th year as a community, and I can tell you that the scene, the Hispanic scene, is so different from few years ago. Right now, people are watching Spanish series, Latin series, and they're listening to reggaeton and all that. And I think we're just going to be like, you know, Spanish is going to be very, very popular, and it's good that we're all here first. So, you know, we can claim to be here first, and you know, just try to, you know, welcome people who wants to learn Spanish. But you know, I first, let me ask you, where in the world are you right now? Are you in Spain? Are you in Indonesia? Where are you?
Yeah, right now I'm in Spain. I'm in my hometown, which is Zaragoza, which is in the northeast of Spain. For those who don't know about this. It's between Madrid and Barcelona. I have 300 kilometers to get to Madrid and 300 kilometers to get to Barcelona. So right in the middle. And yeah, I'm here for, I would say, holiday, but actually I'm not on holiday because I have to work almost every day. But yeah, I came here to visit my family. So yeah, I'm here for the month of July. So by the end of the month, I will go back to Indonesia, to Jakarta, where I'm currently working in Jakarta.
That's great, because you know, Zaragoza is an interesting city, because I think that's the first word that we had to learn using the word zeta, and you know, I think when we first learn that letter, we tried to say Zaragoza.
Yeah, it's a good example to get familiar with the sound Z. I will say you can say Zaragoza if it's easier to pronounce for you.
Yeah, Zaragoza.
But yeah, in Spanish we will pronounce Zaragoza with this sound for the Z.
Almost like a trabalenguas.
Sounds like, yeah, that's it, like a tongue twist.
Okay, so you know, we started this habit or tradition, I think, this year, that we will ask 3 questions to our speaker before we start the presentation, just so you know, just so that everyone can get to know you better. So yeah, I have 3 questions for you. Are you ready to answer them truthfully?
I don't know, but
not
of course, I hope I will be able to answer these questions.
Okay, so these are just easy questions. The first one, we would like to know, what is something about your hometown, which is Zaragoza, that not so many people know about? Like fun fact. Yeah.
Fun fact. Okay, there is I can tell you that there is a strong wind It's so strong, and we have so many days a year that the wind is so like windy days that we call it, has a name, a specific name for this wind, which is called cierzo. Cierzo.
Sí.
I'm gonna write in the chat.
¿Cómo se
So imagine
escribe?
how important. I'm gonna write in the chat. Imagine how important is this wind, because it's like I think it's like more than 200 or 200 something days a year that we have cierzo, and sometimes it's really heavy wind, so that we have a name for this. Sorry, I think I just wrote for someone. So cierzo. There you got it.
Cierzo.
Cierzo. Yeah, it's also a bit difficult to pronounce with the sound. Cierzo. You could say also cierzo, but as it's a specific name of this wind, we call it cierzo. And what else? I don't know, like funny facts I cannot say, but
this is quite funny.
Curiosity is that this city has 2 cathedrals, Catholic cathedrals. Normally each city has just one, but this one has 2 actually. And most of people, it's quite popular. Basilica is called Basilica del Pilar. This is the most famous, but the other one, the other cathedral, which is called Laseo, that means cathedral. So it's a cathedral called Cathedral, the cathedral. It's also a big fan. Yeah.
Okay.
It's less famous, but it's so amazing. It's really, really beautiful. I invite you to search on the internet. It's Laseo. So these are the 2 cathedrals in Zaragoza. That normally in all Europe you just have one cathedral for each city, but this one has 2 cathedrals.
Nice.
Thank you,
Great.
Imelda.
You passed the first question.
I would like, okay, thank you. I would like to think about more like funny facts, but right now I'm like,
one is enough for now.
Okay.
We can.
Otherwise we can stay here forever.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Let's move.
Yes, let's move to the second one. This is easier probably. This is a 2-in-1 question. This is a 2-in-1 question. And so how long have you lived in Indonesia, and what is your favorite Indonesian food?
Okay, so I arrived to Jakarta in January, and I think it was 10th January, and I had to spend my first week in the hotel because of the quarantine, because of the COVID. So from January I'm there. So right now it's almost 6 months. And what's my favorite food? I really love pisang goreng. I really like it. It's like I sweet tooth, we say. In Spanish we say, in my region we say la minera, which a person who loves sweet food. So my favorite food, la minera, but this is specific from our region, okay? La minera. So we could say goloso also. Oh. Sorry, wait. I'm writing la minera. Or golosa, but golosa is not just for sweet food. We can say that someone who really likes eating. So that's it. Yeah, pisang goreng, I really, really like it with some chocolate or some, how do you say, leche condensada? Like milk.
Yeah, condensed milk.
Sweetened, yeah, that's it.
Condensed milk.
So good. En Papua comemos pisang goreng con sambal. Wow. But sambal is spicy, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I have to say that I'm not really a spicy food person, so I'm getting used to. But yeah, I prefer like not spicy food. But I'm getting used to now.
You will in a few years after living in Indonesia. You will. Yeah. You will tolerate the spice. All right, great then. I like pisang goreng too. So yes. On to the third question. Probably tiny little bit hard. So you mentioned that you're learning Indonesian. So I'm wondering if you know any word or any favorite word, or maybe a word that you find it difficult to pronounce, maybe.
Okay. Okay, let's say that I'm enjoying so much. I would like to also thank my Bahasa Indonesian teacher, He can speak good Spanish, so it makes easier for me to learn Bahasa, because the lessons are actually in Spanish, so that's great for me. And I'm enjoying so much his lessons, because he's a good teacher. And yeah, I'm also learning by Duolingo. I think some of you guys are learning Spanish with Duolingo. So yeah, it's a good way to start with a language, I would say, because it's easier to remember the vocabulary, especially. But then the most difficult part for me about learning Indonesian is to remember the vocabulary. I mean, because some of them has nothing to do with any language that I know. For instance, okay, you have copy, which is quite similar to coffee, or you have some words that are similar to Spanish, like meja, we say mesa, or what else? Sepatu, we say zapato. But for those words that has nothing to do, it's difficult for me to remember. Not about the pronunciation, because I think it's not that difficult. The main difference, I think, is the, for instance, the C, you pronounce like Italian way. For instance, you say,
chocolate,
or yeah, what else? Yeah, chocolate. Okay, but as I'm used to speak also Italian, I got like, it was not difficult for me to remember that the C I have to pronounce like T, like our CH. Yeah, but for instance, I'm always confused with two words. Sedikit sekali, I don't know why I'm confused all the time. So sometimes I say baik sedikit, and I want to say baik sekali. Or also with the numbers 4 and 6. I don't know why, I'm always confused. 4, 6. Always confused. I don't know why.
But you got it right.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, sometimes I want to say 4, but I say like I have to stop and think of what is 4 and what is 6.
I actually experienced a similar situation with Spanish between antes y después. I have to think for a few seconds which one is antes, which one is después.
I think is it that because of antes looks like more after?
Yes,
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Before después.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can, you can get confused about that.
Well, okay.
No, but great, I really love Indonesian language, like really, and I'm trying to learn Indonesian language. So sometimes I enjoy lessons to ask my students, as we are learning Spanish, I'm teaching them Spanish. I ask them, how do you say that in Indonesian? So that I'm also learning from them. I really
nice. So it's a exchange, language exchange.
It's win-win. That's it.
All right. So speaking of language, I think we should move on to the real topic of the night, which is DELE. The first one here, I think, is pretty basic, right? It's just to explain to people who are not familiar with DELE, and maybe they want to know, like, what is this DELE that people keep talking about in the Spanish schools and Spanish community. So maybe you can explain a little bit about what is DELE and how we can use it.
Okay, sure. So first of all, DELE stands for Diploma de Español como Lengua Extranjera, which means Diploma of Spanish like a foreign language. So basically, it's an official certificate about the degree of competence and mastery of the Spanish language, and is granted by the Spain Ministry of Education, and is gonna prove that you have a specific level of Spanish. Okay, Instituto Cervantes organizes these examination sessions, and Universidad de Salamanca is designed these exams, and is also in charge of the correction and the final evaluation of all the exams. Okay, these diplomas follow the criteria of the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, and are internationally recognized all over the world. So in case you need an official diploma for apply for a job, or to apply for a university or whatever, this is a diploma that you have to show, okay? You have to take the exam of DELE. And one more thing, it's very important to know that this is valid for a lifetime, okay? Once you get the, for instance, DELE B1 or B2 or any of the level, it will last forever. But it's important that you, once you get the certificate, you continue practicing the language, okay? Because if you get the diploma and you don't speak Spanish for 10 years, of course, after 10 years, your diploma is valid, but it doesn't mean that you don't have anymore this level, okay?
Because in the certificate, it shows the year that you took the exam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's valid for a lifetime.
That's
it still has a year, and people can know what was the last year
you have
you took
the specific date you got the certification, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so I hope that answers this quite clearly, and we'll move on to the second one. Yeah, so yeah, this is actually also my question. Why do DELE examiners require a certain certification? Because not all Spanish teachers can be DELE examiners, right?
Mm-hmm. That's it, you're right, Primarita. Actually, one thing is to be Spanish teacher, and other thing, of course, most of the, or I would say all of the examiners are also Spanish teacher, but not all the Spanish teachers are DELE examiners, okay? Of course, I am a DELE examiner for all the levels, okay? First of all, I want to say that we are just in charge, DELE examiners are just in charge of speaking part. We have to evaluate the speaking part, not all the exam, okay? As you know, DELE is the listening, especially the listening and the writing part, listening and how do you say, the reading part is a multiple choice. So this is gonna be automatically corrected, but the speaking part is our responsibility as examiners, okay? So among our responsibilities as DELE examiner, we have the commitment to pass specific training for the administration and qualification of the speaking part, okay? Why it's so important? Because of course, it's not easy to examine it or evaluate each candidate. So we have to make sure that we are familiar with the administration procedures, the materials, the scales, and the grading criteria of the oral test. So we have to be fair when we evaluate someone. So this is why we have to pass a course, which normally lasts for a month for each level. And we will get the certification that we are ready for evaluating the speaking part, okay? And we have to make sure that we're going to be fair for all the candidates, okay? Regardless their nature or condition. I would like to show you the rating scale, because we have to take into consideration different factors while evaluating a candidate. We have to consider the correctness, the fluency, the consistency of the speech, and also this is for levels from B1, and then for the basic levels A1, A2, we have to take into account, into consideration the use of the language and the accomplishment of the task, of each task. This is why.
All right. So to be a examiner, you have to take a course for a month.
Yeah, sure. And we have to pass also kind of exam. It's not exactly an exam, but we have to complete different exercises, and we have a forum where all the examiners we have to see real exams. So we have to evaluate them. And we have real cases where we have to examine the candidates. We have to evaluate them and qualify.
I guess the follow-up question would be, do they have to be native speakers or maybe some very, very advanced students?
No,
or
that's it.
anyone
It's
can.
not. It's not compulsory that they are native speakers. Actually, they can be like foreign teachers. But yeah, I think they are required at least C1. I'm not sure, but I think it will be at least C1 because, of course, if you have a lower level than C1, you cannot examine a student that is applying for the C2. That it doesn't make sense, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it's not like a compulsory thing. Yeah, it's not a requirement to be a native speaker.
Very interesting. But but to take the certification, then you have to go to Spain, because I don't think there's any place to get it here. You have to go to Cervantes in España, or
no, actually no. You have the possibility. I'm not sure if it's because of the pandemic, but I had all my courses online. Actually, I have my first course was from Instituto Cervantes of Hamburg in Germany. And then I had others in, so it depends on the dates. Actually, you can go to the website and you can check you can choose the course according to the dates that fits to you. So yeah, I decided to do at that time, because all the they are not all the courses at the same time, from all the Instituto Cervantes. So you have to choose, because as long as it's online and the times fits to you, that's fine. So
yeah, everything is possible now
online,
because of the online courses.
This is the good, this is the best thing that the coronavirus gave us, the online things. Right now I'm here in Spain and I can attend
talking to everyone.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you. So the third question, so maybe just to give some context, a few months ago, our community, Dime Porque, organized a sharing session with Dewi and me about our experiences in taking DELE exam in 2019, I think. But we were sharing our experience and, our experience in preparing for the exam and doing the exam. And now we got the chance to speak with one of the examiners. I think this is also the question that was asked in the session, and people are very curious which version of Spanish is used in DELE, from Spain or Latin America or both, and what if my accents or pronunciations are not, the same, maybe. Yeah,
this is a very interesting question, actually. You have to know that in the basic levels, A1, A2, the variety of Spanish is from Spain for most of the listening and reading part. But from B1 on, you can find any variety of the Spanish, okay? We include other from Latin America. You have to know also that as long as the student is coherent all the speech long and keeps the same variety of Spanish, it's fine. I mean, we don't take into consideration if a person speaks with an accent from Argentina or Colombia or Spain, never mind. But the most important is to be coherent and to keep the same variety for your speech. The same, for instance, if you are using the use of tú or usted, okay? It doesn't matter if you use in a formal or informal way, but please be coherent. You have to keep the same for the speaking part. And regarding your own accent, of course, as I have a huge accent while speaking English, if you are speaking Spanish with your accent, never mind, okay? If your speech is intelligible and your accent doesn't make so difficult that we understand you, that's fine. It won't be negative if you have an accent speaking. Actually, it's a nice thing, you are Indonesian, so of course you are going to speak with an Indonesian accent, but that's fine. It's not a negative point for the evaluation.
I would like to ask you, because you have students from Indonesia, how do you see our accent when we're speaking Spanish? Is it sometimes it's easier to understand, or to what do you think
No,
about
really, I'm
yeah.
surprised. Okay, I have been just for 6 months, and I just could evaluate, but I'm teaching Spanish in Indonesia. But I will say you don't have like a strong accent when you speak Spanish, probably maybe because our phonics are quite similar. But I would say, okay, for instance, when I'm quite familiar with an Italian speaking Spanish or a French person speaking Spanish, but no, Indonesian people, I couldn't imitate. I couldn't try to make your accent speaking Spanish, because I think you are quite good at pronunciation because of the phonics, probably.
Yeah, we read the words the same way, right?
That's it.
I think that's one of our
it.
advantage as
Yeah,
Indonesian. So
I have to say that I didn't have any like problem to understand you while examining the candidates last May. Yeah.
All right. So that's good to hear, because we have an advantage as Indonesian. Okay. Cool. All right. So next question. Okay, fourth question. Which level of DELE is usually required to apply for school, university, or citizenship? I think this also was asked yesterday with Campus Spain, but yeah, which one is more common? Like, for example, if you wanna apply for scholarship and all that, like, what's the minimum that we should aim for?
I will say that depends on each country. Okay, I can talk about Spain because I know it better than other countries from South America. But I would say that to get into the university in Spain, you must prove at least a B2 level of Spanish. Okay. But for instance, not to join the full studies at the university, but if you want to join, for instance, the Erasmus program or another kind of program which lasts for maybe 1 year or 6 months, normally reaching the B1 level of Spanish usually is enough, okay? But the truth is that also the higher level you get, the more opportunities you will have to get to get a scholarship or to join a program at the university. Okay, but I will say it's normally the B2. And yeah, for instance, for the citizenship, it's necessary to obtain a level A2 or higher. Okay, and in addition, you have to take a test, which is a CCSE test, which is about the sociocultural knowledge of Spain. But it's minimum of A2 level to get the citizenship.
All right, so B2 I think is the safest, yeah? The safest level.
Yeah.
Okay, great. The next one. Also very popular question. How do I know which level of DELE I should take?
Yeah,
does
I
it,
think some
like,
of
for example, if you have a certificate from a course or a school, does it automatically determine which DELE I should take, or how do I know?
Okay, I think any of the people who are listening to us say, I don't know which level I should take. Okay, I'm gonna share with you in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna share this link. Is the Instituto Cervantes website offers a free online test to get an idea of your level of Spanish. Not just for DELE, but also if you want to join a course, if you want to start taking lessons of Spanish, you can complete this this test. It will last for, I don't know, depending on your speed, but around half an hour. And you have listening, grammar, and reading. Okay, you don't have writing, of course, but you will get a good idea about your level. Okay, this is my first suggestion. Okay, you can join this link. You can do the like basement level, and you will get idea of your level. Anyway, you can also check the Instituto Cervantes website, and you will find real samples for each level. Okay, so I think you have an idea, of course. Maybe you are between 2 levels. Maybe you don't know if you are between A2 or B1. So you can try to do one of these exams, okay? And then you can, of course, know, because you will find the solutions. So you can try to do one of these exams. Sorry, wait, you didn't get the link, right? I'm gonna try again. Okay, here you get the link for the test to test your level. And here you have different samples. Okay, good. Yeah, it was the previous one, Primarita. That's it. That's it. Okay. I think there are like, yeah, it will last. I think there are 4 different tasks. So it's grammar and reading. And then you will, by the end of this, when you finish this test, you will get your level. Okay, this is one. And the second thing you can do to know your level is to join the second link that I send you, and there you will find real samples of DELE exam. So there you can download. That's it. Thank you so much, Primarita. There you can click on the level you think you have, and then you will find where it's you have all the parts like reading, writing, listening and speaking, and where it's written claves, which means solution, you can check if your answers are correct or not. Okay, so this is gonna give you a good idea about which DELE you can try to do. Okay, and also I would like to tell you, DELE is not just the levels A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. But if you are between 11 to 17 years old, there is a specific exam for young learners, okay, which is called DELE Escolar. And this is for people who are still students that are still at school or at high school, and it's aimed for levels A1 and A2, B1. Okay, so for those, the young learners can join this because it's more adapted to vocabulary and situations of the school that they are familiar with. So it's also interesting if you are between 11 to 17 years old. That's
what usually the questions are different, right? From between, like, for example, for the adults one would be more about work or adult themes probably.
Yeah, the levels from A1 to C2, let's say that they are not specific for, it's like general, very general about work, about daily life, but for adults. So DELE Escolar is for students that are still in school or high school. So everything is adapted to their world. So they are not gonna talk about work, for instance, because of course, if you are younger than 18 years old, probably you have no experience about working. So if they are asking you in the exam, okay, tell us experience about your last job. What? I have never worked, so it doesn't make sense.
True. All right. Okay, so is that all from this question? Should we go back to the slide?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are moving on to the 6th question. This is also a short question, but probably long way to answer it.
Yeah.
What is the best way to prepare? For the exam, and how long in advance?
It's not easy to answer this, because of course it will depend on each person. It will depend on your level. It will depend on how many hours can you spend studying or preparing for DELE. The most important information that you have to keep in mind if you are thinking about taking a DELE exam is that you have a deadline to sign up. Okay, this you should take into consideration that the registration ends within 5 weeks and 1 month before the exam. It depends on the Instituto Cervantes, okay? But yeah, if I'm not wrong, in Jakarta, normally is 5 weeks before the date of the exam. So that means that at least 5 weeks before, you have to make sure, you have to be sure that you are in the best condition to pass the exam. So that means that you are almost prepared for that, okay? But of course, if you can just spend, let's say 1 hour a week preparing the exam, that means that at least you have to prepare it for 1 year before, you know? So it will depend actually how much time you can study every day. If you can do like an intensive, you can study for 4 hours a day. Of course, you can maybe prepare a DELE within 2 months. I don't know. I don't want to say a specific time, because of course it will depend on also your level. Some people, maybe if you already got the level B2, that means that maybe you can prepare for 1 month the DELE exam and you will pass, but some people maybe won't, okay? So just to keep in mind that you will have a deadline, okay, to sign up. About what's the best way to prepare the exam. Of course, each student is different, okay? And some people maybe are able to prepare the exam as a self-taught person. Other maybe need to take private lessons, other maybe can join a course from Cervantes or other institution. But my piece of advice, if you are autodidact, or you want to prepare by yourself, is to practice as much as possible. And maybe you can watch movies in Spanish. Now, if you have Netflix, Amazon, whatever, or even YouTube, you can watch the movies with subtitles. And my piece of advice is to use the subtitles in Spanish, because if you set them in English or Indonesian, it's not gonna be so effective, okay? So if from the beginning you can use subtitles in Spanish, that will help you a lot, because you are doing listening and reading at the same time. Also, of course, listening to music, reggaeton, whatever, okay, it will help you for the listening. Radio, podcast, there are so many resources where you can find these kind of things in Spanish. If you like reading, of course, you can read books in Spanish. And of course, if possible, if you can talk to native people, it will help you a lot. Okay, this is my piece of advice. And also, if you you can prepare this DELE exam with the exam samples that I sent you with the previous link. You will find different samples, or you can find on the internet samples of the previous call for this exam. So you will prepare, you will have an idea on how does it work, this exam, and you will be better prepared for this.
That's a great advice. Because we also you know, usually encourage our members to watch series and listen to music, and just to, you know, get used to with how like Spanish sounds. Yeah, and I think it's very interesting, because when we were in school, when we were younger, when you were preparing for exam, we have to avoid watching TV, watching film. But now, if you want to prepare for an exam, you actually have to just enjoy,
I mean,
right?
Yeah,
enjoy movies and series and all that.
For me, learning languages is also about having fun. If you are not having fun, you are not gonna be any more interested in learning that language. So from my experience, for instance, I learned, for instance, Italian by watching movies and reading books. That's it. Also, of course, talking to people when I was in Italy. But also Indonesian, I know that I'm learning Indonesian by speaking to people. That's the best. Of course, you need like a basis from grammar, and you need some explanation, of course. But I think that practice, of course, if you don't have the possibility to join a course, or if you cannot pay for a private teacher or something, these are my piece of advice for autodidact learners.
Yeah, which, our members, a lot of them actually learn Spanish on their own. So,
Yeah.
I admire them for that, because
Yeah,
it's so difficult to learn Spanish alone, independently.
in the previous call of DELE in May, we had,
Mhm.
I would say, more than half of the students that were, because we always ask, how did you learn Spanish? And most of them were by themselves. So it was like, wow. And they got a really good level, even B2. So it was like, wow, nice.
Wow, that's excellent to hear, Schools are confident. Okay. All right. So next question. Right. This is probably more specific to the exam. The exam has several sections, and how do I plan my time well for each section? I guess because each section has its time. How do I not run out of time when I'm working on them? Each of them.
So first of all, for those who don't know about that, the exam is divided into 4 parts, okay, belongs to the 4 skills of the language. So which is the first one is going to be reading, then writing, then listening, reading, then listening, then writing, and then the final one is speaking. Sometimes the speaking part is not going to be the same day than the reading, writing, and listening, okay? So let's say that the same day you are going to do reading, writing, and listening, and then speaking part. So each of this part has a fixed time to complete every task, okay, in which the exam is divided. Inside each part of the test, some tasks, of course, are longer than others, okay? So the best way to have enough time to complete the test, and if possible, which is also very important, to have the time to review your answers, is by taking, I will say that taking as many exam samples as possible, and you have to check the time you spend on each one, so that you will know if you need to spend more time on each task, okay? But the time will vary according to the DELE exam level, okay? So for instance, for the level A1 of the exam, the total time, for instance, to complete the writing part is 25 minutes, okay? And you have 2 different writings you have to complete. So let's say that in this case, it's supposed if you have 2 tasks and you have 25 minutes, you have to spend like 12 minutes and a half for each task, okay? But for DELE B2, you will have 80 minutes, okay? So it depends on the level that you will have a specific time, okay? So the best thing is to practice with real exams, so you will know how much time do you need to complete each one. But for instance, for the listening part, of course, you have a specific time and it's fixed time. So you cannot decide how long are you going to spend with the listening time, because you have a specific and very, how to say, like very marked time to complete that, okay? So it's actually like you cannot spend as much as you want, okay? Because everything is like very settled and you have to respect that time.
And also, the higher the level, the longer time you will have, but that doesn't mean that you have more spare time. It's just because you need to work on more things, right?
That's it.
You have to write more words.
It will depend. That's it. For the writing, for instance, you will have like 80 minutes, so 1 hour and 20 minutes, because you have to make you have to write a longer text, while the A1 is gonna be like not so many words. This is why.
All right. Okay. Let's move on. Question number 8. What are the most common mistakes during the interview part of the exam? Actually, the interview part is my favorite because
really?
Because if I have to, I don't know. I don't know, because I would rather talk than write, and
Okay, because I
but
think you feel confident in yourself.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because I would say that from my experience, it's like the part that most of the people don't like, because they get so nervous. So
True, but
actually,
it went so quickly. It goes so quickly. You don't have to like
no,
think too
that's
much,
true.
right?
That's true. Yeah, I
Mm.
think especially for levels, the higher levels like B2 or C. Yeah, the writing part is like so long. They when they finish the exam, they are quite tired because they have to focus for such a long time.
Yeah.
And it's true that the speaking part is the shortest one, but yeah, and this is what I wanted to say. The main mistake for me that students make while taking this part is to be so nervous. Okay, so maybe they are well prepared, but they are so nervous that they are not like they are not able to express what they want. So yeah, this is like the main mistake, the most common mistake, because most of them are so nervous. So my suggestion will be like, you have to learn to downplay the fact that this is an official exam. Okay, I know that of course you have to pay for that, you have prepared for a long time, so you really want to pass the exam, but really think that you are having a coffee with the examiner, like is your friend and is not evaluating you. Okay, if you are well prepared, you have to be sure that you are going to do it well and trust yourself. Okay. Yeah, but I know it's easy to say that, but it's not that easy to do that. Okay. But that's it. The more common mistake is that, while the speaking part. And also I want to talk about one mistake that you have to try to avoid. When you have the speaking part, some of the tasks you can prepare them. You will have some time to prepare some of the parts of the exam. Okay, and then you can take notes. Okay, that you can, on this paper you can take it while you have the speaking part with the examiner. But please, this you will be told that, okay, you cannot read these notes. You have these notes that will help you to don't forget anything, but of course you cannot just read what it's on your paper, because this is a big mistake that you cannot you have to try to avoid, because of course you are evaluated about what are you saying, what are you speaking, not what are you reading. Okay, so this is also an important mistake that you have to try to avoid it. Okay.
That's yeah. But I mean, I'm curious for you as an examiner, when you see a student coming in and feeling so nervous, what do you do to ease them up? Like,
Okay, yeah, you have to, this is also, you have to know that we are nice, examiners are nice. And when someone is not, if you are nervous or not, but at the beginning, we're going to start with some easy questions just to break the ice. I mean, we're going to ask you, what's your name? Where do you come from? And where do you learn Spanish? And try to make the student like feel comfortable and to be relaxed. Okay, so we're not going to start all of a sudden the exam. We're going to have like a short talk to especially for people who are nervous, to try to calm down. And yeah, that's it. Like, we really, all the examiners are nice, so don't yeah, I mean, I know that it's easy to say that, but even when I was younger, now not anymore, because I think you feel like more relaxed, and I'm more confident now than when I was younger, of course. But yeah, I think the most important is to downplay the fact that it's an official exam. And yeah, that's it. We are nice. We're not gonna blame you. We're not gonna, even if you make a mistake, that's fine. Don't focus on the mistake you made. Just continue and be confident. And of course, try not to be nervous.
Ryumni has a question here. Does body language or eye contact matter? Because for him, he can't maintain eye contact towards the examiner. It makes me more nervous and unable to speak.
We don't take into account the body language, okay? Of course, if sometimes in Spanish and Latin American speakers, we use the hands and body language because we are so expressive. So if you want to use your hands to speak, that's up to you. I mean, we're not gonna take in the evaluation, in the examination of the speaking part, we doesn't take into consideration this body language. Or even if you are not using your hands and you have your hands in your pockets or whatever, never mind. The same for the eye contact. Up to you, okay? We have, as examiner, we have to look in your eyes, okay? But I mean, no, we don't take into consideration the body language. It's more the things you say. I mean, your speech is what is important for us.
Because, you know, even in real situations, sometimes when you talk to someone in front of you, you don't always maintain eye contact all the time, right? So sometimes you will look somewhere else.
Of course.
So it's very natural. But I guess once in a while, you have to look at the examiner to make sure that they're still there.
It's fine. Even if you don't look at us, we're not going to say like, oh, he or she is not looking at us. So I'm going to, no. It doesn't matter.
All right. Good to know. Any other questions about interviews? I think this is, yes, the most interesting part of the exam, I would say. Did you also, I don't think you've explained about this, but you actually have 2 examiners in the interview part, right?
Yeah, that's also important to note. One is gonna be, is called entrevistador, so the interviewer, he's going to talk to you. And there is a second examiner, which is the calificador. And actually, he's just taking notes. This person is not gonna talk to you, but of course, when you get in the, let's say the classroom or where the exam is taking place, of course, he's going to say hello, but you are going to talk just with one of these examiner. The other one, you don't even see this person, okay, because he's behind you. So you are going to have like a real talk face to face with one of the examiners. But actually the evaluation, and this is also for the to make sure that the evaluation is fair, we have 2 different evaluation. I mean, 2 people who is going to evaluate you. So imagine that, you feel that the examiner, I don't know, you say, no, he's not gonna like me, or he maybe is gonna give me a bad mark or a bad score. No, there will be another one. So we have to also, we have our point of view. So we have to find like a common score, but you are going to have 2 different evaluations. So that's going to be like more fair for the student.
True. But they only give one final score, right? So they have to discuss, not that you have 2 different scores from 2.
Actually, this is a bit long to explain, but yeah, okay, let's say that for me, the range of the score is not, it's from 0 to 4. No, sorry, from 0 to 3. Okay, so 0, 1 means that the student hasn't reached the level, for instance, in terms of correctness. Okay, if a student makes so many mistakes, okay, so maybe I'm gonna say 0 or 1, depending. Okay, 2 or 3 means that 2 means that the student got the level, reached the level, and 3 means that the student is above the level. So more, if the student is taking the DELE B1, if I put 3, means that he has a higher level, not B1, but even B2. So let's say that I can say, I can give a 2 and the other examiner can give a 1. This is like, okay, more or less, it's not a big difference. But if I say 0 and the other examiners say 2, there is something that it's not normal, because for me it's like not even the level, and the other person say is higher level than you know. So yeah, we have to talk about that when there is a big difference between the evaluation. Okay. But actually, you have, for the speaking part, you have like 2 different qualification. But then in when we send the exam to Spain, because they are going to correct, we are going to get all the parts and all the qualification, you will get a final, it's not a mark, but you are going to get apto or no apto, which means you got or not the level.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Okay, so I hope that explains everything. So we can move on to the question number 9.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, Irene, I just asked, how does this 3 to 0 translate to points? No, this is just for examiners. So don't worry about that. It has nothing to do with the students. It's our system to evaluate. Okay, so no need to understand that, because it's so long to understand. This is how we. This is what we learn in the courses that we have to take to become examiner. So don't worry about that, Irene. It's not important for you as
let them worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question number 9. I think you've already answered this, right? Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, for instance, for those who, okay, of course, I have to talk about the speaking part, which is like the part that examiners are responsible for. So one of my, for those who are self-taught person, okay, self-taught learners, I suggest to practice the speaking part with a real person. Okay, so especially if you are a shy person, or if you feel ashamed of speaking a foreign language in public, I will say that if you can practice this part with, I don't know, a member of your family or a friend, and you make like if it was the real exam, it will help you to be a bit less stressed or a bit less nervous when you take the exam, because you have already practiced to speak Spanish to another person, okay? Or at least if you cannot speak to anyone, or no one wants to listen to you, at least, I don't know, in front of the mirror, or to try to practice this speaking part as if it was real exam, okay? Because it will help you at the moment you have to take the speaking part. So my piece of advice is to try to practice this part with a real person, so that you will maybe get. And if it's possible, if this person you are not very close to that person, you will get a bit nervous. So it will be like the same situation as the examiner.
Actually,
because
this
you
is
don't know
a
the examiner, so
yeah. This is a good tip, and actually it gives me an idea, because, you know, in our community, some of us actually speak Spanish, although not, you know, like a native. But I think if anyone wants to take the exam, they can ask for help in our chat room, and, you know, because lots of people,
that will be that will be so nice if you can do that. Yeah,
even though you know we're not examiners, but at least we can converse,
but it's
right?
just because most of the time examiners, we're not going to interrupt you, we're not going to but because you will have always a part which is like a monologue, and you just have 2 or 3 minutes to talk, and we're not going to interrupt you. So actually no need to be examiner, just you have to listen to you. And the part where you have a conversation, of course, at that moment you have to interact with the student, but otherwise no need that is an examiner.
Great. So anyone, if anyone wants to take the exam, you can ask Dewi, Henry, or Yoshi for help.
Yeah.
And me just to practice.
That will be so nice from
speaking.
Dime Por Qué, if you can do that for students. But I know it's yeah, they get so nervous at that time. So I think it can help to them.
All right. Okay, great. Question number 10. Yes, I think this is more information about the next DELE exam in Indonesia. I think I have the information here. So maybe you can explain that DELE is usually held twice a year, and they're organized at the same time everywhere in the world, right?
That's it. Yeah. All the DELE exams, never mind in which country, are going to take place at the same time. Well, at the same time, I mean, in the yeah, it's not possible because otherwise we'll be at 2 a.m.
in the morning
now. But I mean the same day and the same time of the country. Okay, usually it's in the morning, starting in the morning, and usually it's at 9 a.m. So specifically in Jakarta, we have 2 calls. Okay, so one has already finished. It was in the month of May. And the next one is going to be in November. And that's already settled. It's going to be for sure on 18 and 19 November, which is, if I'm not wrong, Friday and Saturday. I'm going to check that. Yeah. It's Friday and Saturday. So Friday is going to be for young learners that I talked before. It's going to be for those students that are still in school or high school. And they will have both parts. Normally it's going to be the writing part and also the speaking part. Okay, but for adults, it's going to be the writing part. So reading, writing, and listening is going to be on Saturday, but the speaking part, it will depend. It will depend on how many candidates, how many students we have. The speaking part will be right after the writing part, or it can be also on Friday. Okay, so on 18 November. But this we have, it will depend on how many students we have taken the exam.
I think it's also case by case, right? Because, for example, in my experience, my speaking part was actually 1 week before the writing part.
Yeah,
it can be different in like case by case.
I'm talking about last call in May. It was like that. It was just these 2 days. So you can take the exam the same day, the whole exam, or maybe it will be the speaking part will be like apart. It will be another day. It can be before, it can be later. But as our experience in Jakarta was Friday or Saturday. Okay, but the writing part will be for DELE Escolar will be on Friday, and the all the levels from A1 to C2 will be on Saturday. And this is very important. Remember that you have to sign up before the 5 October. Otherwise, you cannot join the exam if you want to register after this date.
That means if you miss this one, then it means you have to take the one next year, right?
That's it. You have to wait until 2023. So you have, for those who are considering taking the exam, keep in mind this deadline, which is the 5 October. And the location is in South Jakarta, in Cipete area, and the location is the Lycée Français. The French lycée in Jakarta.
French school.
Yeah, French school. Which is not the same than Institut Français. It's not, because there are two, you know. This is the lycée. It's like the high school in Jakarta, French high school. Well, you have the address, so you cannot get confused.
It's a nice place. It's a real school, so you feel like you're taking real exams.
That's it. Yeah, it's really, really nice. And the staff there is so nice. They make things so easy. And you have AC, so don't worry, you won't it won't be hot while taking the exam.
It was really cold actually. I should have brought my jacket.
Really?
It was really cold.
I all
Maybe
the
because
time
I was nervous or
I was there while they were taking the writing part, and I was like, do you feel okay? ¿Tenés frío? ¿Tenés calor? Because yeah, I know that you have to spend so many hours there, so at least you have to feel comfortable about the temperature.
Yeah, but it's a nice place to have an exam, I think.
Yeah.
And because the deadline is 5 October, that means that we still have time to prepare for the exam, right? We still have how many months?
Yeah,
3
more
months.
more than 3 months. Yeah.
So great. Okay, so I think this is just the last question, which is also important. What if I want to take a DELE preparation class, especially if I'm not enrolled in a course or like an instituto or any school? How do I take a DELE preparation class? And I think you have some information here. Should we open this link? Let's see.
Yeah, well, this link is again is the Cervantes website, and there you can find, I cannot see, wait, you can find some courses, okay, to prepare specific courses to prepare DELE. It's just for these levels, A2, B1, B2, okay? So in these courses, you will, it includes these courses, some videos and that show the development of the day of the exam and the performance of the candidates, real ones. And you will find so many, more than 100 activities based on samples of real exams. And also you will find tips and strategies to prepare and pass the exam. So I really highly recommend these courses in case you already know if you are going to take one of these levels for A2, B1, B2. That's a good idea, okay? Otherwise, as I told you, you can go to the website, Instituto Cervantes website, and you can do by yourself the samples that you will find there from previous calls that will help you also to get familiar with exam and to practice, of course. And I can share you also different free resources, okay, to prepare the exam. I think it's, did I send you, Primerita? Some websites.
Sorry.
Yeah, this one, for this, yeah.
Here
okay. You can find, okay, yeah, the that's it. This is the link for the samples. The first one, this is, I already shared with you, is you will find the different samples. Okay, then the second one, if you can share, is Profe DELE. I don't know, this is some websites that I really like, even for my classes. I take so many ideas and many resources from this website. This is a group of Spanish teachers that create this website, and I think you will find so many resources, okay? Especially for DELE, you will find tips and also activities to practice, and you can find they are divided into the different levels, okay? So you will find some samples and also tips, okay? This is also everything is in Spanish. I'm sorry about that, but it's very useful. I think it will be useful to prepare the exam.
Yeah.
And the third link,
like a great resource. Third link is
the third link, DELE Ahora, is mostly about grammar, but grammar you will find also divided into levels, so you can click on the level you aimed. I think it's actividades.
Oh,
yeah, there it's divided into levels, so you can click on that, and then you will find different topics, especially grammar, but you will find also to writing, vocabulary, and even I think listening. They have, comprensión auditiva, comprensión de lectura, so you will find many resources, and I think all of them are free. So it can be a good idea.
Great.
Yeah. And finally, I think the last link is just for, it's everything, all the this information, but in English. So that will be maybe useful for you. You will find, yeah, like information about DELE exam in English. Great. Okay, not resources. I think, yeah, there you can find maybe samples, but not, yeah. But for the resources, I think Profe DELE and DELE Ahora, it will help you a lot. Yeah, because you will find so many resources, activities, and they're great. I think it's also useful to familiarize yourself with the website in Spanish, right? Because because in the exam the instruction will be in Spanish, right? It's not going to be in English. That's it. And actually, it's also practicing already, looking for resources in Spanish. If you have to read in Spanish, this is also practicing. This is about readings in Spanish. So exactly, yeah, this is great. So I think I can copy paste all this to chat to the chat so that everyone can maybe click on it one by one and then save them for later. Sure. Yes. And also, this is the information for the DELE convocatory this year. All this information you can get in what am I talking about? The Instagram of Aula Cervantes Jakarta, which is, this information is in Bahasa Indonesia, so it's more, it's easier to understand. You can find this post, and then you can see the schedule here, which is Friday 18 November and then Saturday 19 November, just like we mentioned before. And there's also the price. The higher the level, the more expensive it gets. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, jadi di sini juga ada penjelasannya, all the explanation about the each level to take, and then and this is basically the main website to get all the information, the official information about DELE in the Cervantes site. All right. Maybe I should copy paste this as well, or let me just write it here. Examines. Where is it? Okay, I would like also, I don't mind to give you my email in case anyone got, I don't know, while preparing the exam, if you have any question, any doubt that you would like to ask me as an examiner, I will be glad to help people. Okay, so. And I will be the examiner for with Jose. Is a guy from Valencia. So we will be the examiner. So. Whoa. See. Do you want to write your email here, or yes, should we? Sure. Okay. I'm gonna give it. Okay. That's it. Okay. There you are. Okay, so everyone who needs help with preparing their DELE, if you have any questions, Maria is kind enough to share her email, and maybe you can get in touch with her, and maybe not asking for not tips, but like answers or whatever. But yeah. No, I don't know. It's not me who prepared the exam, so I don't know what's going. That will be in the next call, but yeah. In case you need anything, I will try to help you. Okay, that's awesome. Muchísimas gracias. Any other questions about this from the audience here? Because I don't have any more questions, but if you still have some doubts or anything else that you want to know, you can ask here to Maria before I close the session, because it's almost 8:30, 9:30. Yeah. It's not very late in Spain, but in Bali and in Jakarta, no puedo rodar R. Will that affect my score? No, not at all. Not at all, because we know even some people in Spain, they cannot, I don't know how to say that. It's rular, no? La R. but no, it's like not an accent, but we don't take into consideration that. Because even some Spanish people or Spanish-speaking people cannot do that because it's something physiologic. So that's fine. It won't affect your score.
Okay, great. Any more question? Is there any alternative for exam? Because Pamela doesn't live in Jakarta. Is it possible to do it online or not?
Where do you live, Pamela? Because I mean, I imagine that in Indonesia, but not in Jakarta, right? Well, is there another exam in
She lives in Bandung.
Well, it's not that far because we have some students from last call that they come from other cities, not in Jakarta. But yeah, I don't know if it's possible for you or not to come to Jakarta for that day. There is another exam, but it's not actually DELE. It's called CIELE. I'm gonna write for you, but it's a bit different. And for instance, I'm not examiner for CIELE, so I cannot explain you that much. But actually, it's another official diploma, okay? And it's not that you aim to, you don't have to register to a specific level, but you just take this exam and they will give you the level you have, okay? But it's working in a different way. I cannot explain you because I'm not very familiar with this, but maybe you can look for information because this exam is online. Okay, and it's also official, so maybe it can fit you. Maybe it's what you are looking for, Pamela.
It's an alternative, right?
Yeah, but for DELE, no, actually, it's always on site. It's not online.
More questions from Anna.
Okay.
Are DELE and CEFR the same?
Okay.
Or DELE is the most important if you want to pursue study in Spain?
Okay, no, actually DELE, as I told you, is the diploma, a specific diploma for Spanish language as a foreign language. CEFR is the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. It's like, it's not the same actually. DELE is the diploma, the certificate or the exams you take to get the certified level of Spanish language. The CEFR is, let's say, like the common, not rule, but the something European that help teachers and students and examiners to have like a common reference for languages, okay? Not just for Spanish, but for all the languages, English, French, Italian, Portuguese, all the languages from Europe, okay? And DELE is most important if we want to pursue studying Spanish. DELE is actually the only, with CIELE, is the only official certificate. Okay, maybe if you go to Spain to an academy or a school and you can get a certificate of Spanish language, but DELE is the only recognized official diploma. Also CIELE, okay, but I didn't want to talk too much about CIELE because this is about DELE. So I've heard
but related to that, I think, what about the certificate of Instituto Cervantes? For example, if you are a student in Cervantes, does the certificate work the same way, or do you still need DELE? Because it's
not
the same
exactly,
institution,
no.
right?
Yeah, it's the same institution, but actually it's not the same exam because if you join a course of Instituto Cervantes, of course, at the end of the course, if you pass the exam, you are going to get the certificate. But this is not an it's a certificate from Instituto Cervantes, but it's not the official one that certifies that you have passed DELE. Let's say it's the same than, I don't know how to say, but in English, now if you get, it's not the same to get the Cambridge, I don't know, the TOEFL or the, I don't know, the first certificate than if you do a course in Cambridge University, or I don't know. I mean, they are a bit different. Okay, DELE is like the official one. And about DELE in Yogyakarta, I'm not sure about that, but I wouldn't say, because I think the only one that take place is in Jakarta. But let me ask that. I heard it from una embajada de España in Indonesia.
I think they used to have DELE in Jogja, but
Maybe,
it was
that's
a
it.
while ago, but I don't think they
Okay.
still do it anymore. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about, only
Okay,
Jakarta
yeah,
so far.
probably it was before, Anna. Maybe it was some years ago, but for this year, we just had in Jakarta. We didn't have it in Yogyakarta. Unfortunately, that will be so nice, but no.
Yeah. Any more questions? If not, then I will close the session and remind everyone for tomorrow. This is our last session of Hispanic Week 2022. This is going to be interesting as well, because I don't know if you know, but Señor Michel is one of the most senior Spanish teachers in Indonesia, I think, and he and Dewi are going to talk to you guys about Spanish grammar. And if you have any questions, you can send them directly. You can ask them to Señor Michel. And the thing is that he actually speaks Indonesian. So, it would be really easy to ask him, right? Because sometimes when you have to speak English and then you're asking Spanish, your brain got confused. But maybe it will be easier if you can ask it in Bahasa Indonesia. So yeah. So tomorrow will be in the morning. So 10 a.m. On a Saturday at 10 a.m. Jakarta time. So yeah, we will see you there. Nos vemos mañana y
Muchas
adiós.
gracias a todos. Muchas gracias por participar. Thank you so much. Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih banyak, María.
Gracias, adiós.
Muchas gracias. Y por favor, nos quedamos un rato
Sí.
antes de salir. Vale.
Claro.
Chao, chao. Adiós.